Good day to everybody. It is indeed a privilege and an honor for me to be in conversation with Mr. Damodaran. And what makes it even more interesting is that I get to ask the questions this time. To encapsulate a rich and varied career that Mr. Damodaran has had is virtually impossible. We're talking about a professional who has worked with union and state governments, with regulatory bodies, with financial institutions, banks, and the private sector, before demitting office in 2008 as chairman of SEBI. His turnaround of UTI at a time when UTI was floundering is legendary. He was also the youngest ever Chief Secretary of a state when he was appointed Chief Secretary of Tripura. What is perhaps less well known is the fact that he was only 14 and a half years when he finished school with a gold medal and entered IIT Madras. After 2.5 years of being a student of engineering, he decided that engineering was not going to be what he did for the rest of his life. And the world of economics and the world of law saw a student who again graduated with distinction from Madras University for his degree in economics and Delhi University for his degree in law. Mr. Damodaran, it's wonderful to be welcoming you for a change to this program, which is really enabled by excellence enablers, something that you are the founder of.
Thank you, Vinita. I think you have tried and captured in a few sentences what is often called a checkered career. And I don't know whether a checkered career, the checkered means something good or bad.
No, I would rather use the words eclectic,
okay.
Wide, comprehensive, rather than checkered. But more on that as we go along. So, there's so much to talk to you about, but let me start with a general question. You've spent so many years not just creating the pathway, but also navigating this whole road of governance. What are some of the big changes that you have seen in the corporate governance landscape in India, let's say over the last 20 to 25 years?
I would like to imagine that long before regulations and law, some companies practiced the value-based systems that we today call corporate governance. But it was with clause 49 of the listing agreement that corporate governance got some kind of a formal, let's say, entry into the legal landscape. That was the first time that expectations on corporates were set out in regulations. In the early days, many persons complied in letter, not in spirit. Some others just didn't comply and said, let's see what happens. From then till now, it's been a journey of progress. A lot of people say there is much to be done. There will always be much to be done. The fact is that if you rewind to a few years ago, to maybe 2005, and then, what is it? Another, not too many years, 16 years down the line, I would imagine that we have some of the best practices in the Indian corporate sector. Does everybody practice that? I can say with a straight face, no. I wish more of them did. But most important is the initial skepticism that governance was just another activity, some kind of diversionary activity, taking away focus from running the business. That's gone. Today, I think people are seeing value in good corporate governance, and that I think has been the major change. We are much better off than many countries, including some of the developed countries. But if you look at it on a standalone basis, I think we have a lot even.